Have you ever considered that maybe your inner critic isn't this horrible thing that's just trying to get you down and you have to get rid of it? And maybe it's actually your inner child or your inner teenager letting you know that you let it down and it feels neglected by you, but is in all or nothing and perfectionistic thinking from years of neglect, abuse, and abandonment? And maybe the reason that that voice is so critical and mean to you is because after years of trying to tell you that it wants to get its needs accommodated and you continuing to neglect it or abandon it or abuse it, it finally just starts to act out like a normal kid or teenager would do whenever it's not getting its needs met. And instead of meeting that critic with criticism and shame, which is only going to exacerbate the issue, maybe meeting it with curiosity and asking, hey, when did you develop? What's going on? What might I be doing to contribute to you actually being upset? And actually listen to it, because maybe it actually has some points. Yes, it might get into all or nothing thinking and it might be over exaggerating or really upset. But remember, this is probably from years of neglect. So obviously it's going to do anything it can and use language where it overemphasizes and exaggerates because it has to make a big deal because for so long you ignored it. And maybe when you actually start to get curious and start to listen to that critic and start to dismantle the shame that you have around that critic, you'll start to recognize that that critic developed as a protective coping response either in childhood or during your teenage years. Because at one point in time, and maybe even still today, that critic is keeping you safe somehow. Maybe not in the best ways, and maybe that's why it's important for you to start to meet it in the middle so that you can find a compassionate route for it to give you constructive criticism and not just straight up mean criticism. Because the critic itself, meaning that inner child, that teenager that's trying to protect you, isn't necessarily the problem. It's the means by which it is giving you that information. But again, what would you do if you've been trying to tell somebody that there's an issue for years and they weren't listening? You would probably be really upset too, right? I don't know, maybe take some time to start getting curious with that inner critic and start to give it a little bit of credit. And over time, it starts to slowly trust you again as you consistently show up for it and be curious and compassionate. But I don't think suppressing that inner critic, invalidating it, or acting like it doesn't matter is going to help you. I don't know, I could be wrong, but you stayed till the end of the video, so... Anyway, I hope that helps at least one person. My name's Sarah, and I'm your favorite self-experimenting coach or companion, and I help get people reacquainted with who they most authentically are. You're an amazing person, and I hope you have the best day.